Some birds don't get the attention they deserve, but that doesn't mean they're not worth noticing. This is part 2 in my series on underappreciated backyard birds. While part 1 spotlighted the bold and boisterous, this lineup features birds with a more subtle presence. They might not stand out at first, but spend a little time with them and their quiet charm, quirky habits, and understated beauty start to shine. Some are mellow, others a bit more intense, but all of them deserve a second glance. So let's get into it. 5 birds that fly under the radar but absolutely deserve a place in the spotlight. Mourning doves. Always a pair, always there. Mourning doves bring a soft, shy presence to my yard. They're the most abundant visitors, showing up in impressive numbers multiple times every single day. Their feathers are like suede, and their gentle cooing is the perfect, peaceful backyard soundtrack. These doves mate for life, raise their babies as a team, and often cuddle. Literal lovebirds. Figuratively speaking, of course. They're graceful and calm, right up until they rocket off with that sharp wing whistle meant to startle predators. Yes, that sound actually comes from their wings. Fun fact: mourning doves can sip water without tilting their heads back, one of the few bird species that can drink continuously, almost as if they've got a built-in straw. Chipping sparrow. Blink and you'll miss them. Chipping sparrows are among the most common songbirds in North America, yet they've been largely overlooked by science. Studies on them are remarkably limited, which makes it all the more fitting to include them on a list of underappreciated birds. They're tiny and adorable, with a sharp little black eye stripe and a neat rust-colored cap. Chipping sparrows are seasonal regulars here in Florida. Fall and winter bring waves of these teeny brown birds, and spotting those bright caps suddenly popping into view never fails to brighten the day. At first, you might spot just 1 or 2, but give it a moment and a whole squad will likely pop into view, all flitting and foraging through the leaves. Just don't blink. Finding them is like playing Where's Waldo in the mulch. They dine on seeds and insects, primarily foraging on the ground, but also love a fast food stop at their local backyard bird feeder. Fun fact: only male chipping sparrows sing. Their fast, dry trill is used to attract mates and defend their turf. Females don't sing, but both birds use short, sharp calls to keep in touch. Eastern Phoebe. Cool, calm, consistent. No frills, no fuss. Eastern Phoebes keep things simple, and that's exactly what makes them so cool. With soft gray-brown feathers, a gentle expression, and a voice that sounds more like a whisper than a performance, these little flycatchers have mastered the art of quiet resilience. I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. What's your name again? Phoebe. Got it. They can often be found perched on branches or fence posts, gently bobbing their tails while keeping a sharp eye out for flying insects. And they're surprisingly comfortable living near people, frequently nesting under eaves, around bridges, or tucked into quiet corners of buildings. They're not ones to draw attention to themselves, but their consistent, subtle routine is worth a look. You'll usually spot them perched low, tail gently bobbing like they're keeping time. Then, zip! They dart out with a quick, graceful loop to snatch a bug midair, only to return to their perch like nothing happened. It's a little dance. Sit, bob, swoop, return. Simple, steady, and surprisingly mesmerizing. Eastern phoebes are creatures of habit. Once they claim a favorite hangout, be it a tree branch, porch light, or tucked away ledge, they stick with it. And when breeding season rolls around, they often return to the exact same nest year after year to raise the next generation. Fun fact: the eastern phoebe holds a major claim to fame. It was the first bird in North America ever banded for science, way back in 1804 by John James Audubon. Brown Thrasher, master of mulch and mystery. With their warm cinnamon feathers and piercing yellow eyes, brown thrashers look intense, and they kind of are. These secretive birds stay hidden behind dense vegetation, thrashing through mulch and leaf piles with gusto as they fling debris in search of insects. You'll usually spot just a flash of movement under a shrub before they vanish again. And while they usually stay tucked out of sight, they're anything but timid when it comes to defending their territory. Brown thrashers have been known to strike intruders, including people and pets, hard enough to draw blood. But they're not just about the drama, they're also talented vocalists. Like northern mockingbirds, brown thrashers are known for their beautiful songs and ability to mimic other birds and sounds. A family of thrashers visits my backyard pretty often. They love to tear through all the mulch in the garden, and they'll even visit the feeders. They've gotten so comfortable that they'll come right up close to my husband and I when we're outside. For birds that usually prefer laying low, they sure seem to treat our backyard like their own personal hangout. Fun fact: brown thrashers have massive song libraries and have been documented singing over 1,100 distinct song types, making them one of the most versatile avian vocalists in North America. Not bad for a bird that barely peeks out of the bushes. Gray catbird, meow mix master. Another mimicking bird, gray catbirds are sleek and understated. They're charcoal gray with just a hint of rust beneath the tail, and they move through dense foliage like living shadows. In much of Florida, gray catbirds show up during the non-breeding season, often appearing in backyard hedges or along vine-covered fences. You'll spot them flicking their tails as they dart between branches, pausing now and then to peek out with quiet curiosity. But then they open their beaks, and wow! Their song is like a rolling mix of copied sounds and unique phrases. And yes, they really do meow like cats. That unexpected meow often echoes from a leafy thicket, only to reveal not a cat, but a sleek gray silhouette that vanishes just as quickly as it appeared. You'll usually hear them before you see them. Then you'll wonder how something so understated can pack such a vocal punch. Fun fact: a gray catbird song can last up to 10 minutes without repeating phrases. A non-stop mix of whistles, squeaks, and meows that's like a personalized mixtape. And here's a little bonus for you. If you're confused about how to distinguish between the songs of the northern mockingbird, brown thrasher, and gray catbird, here's a quick tip. Mockingbirds usually repeat each phrase 3 or more times, brown thrashers repeat twice, and catbirds don't repeat at all. Whether bold or low-key, each of the birds in this series brings its own charm to the backyard. And once you start noticing the quieter ones, the ones hiding in the brush or blending into the background, it adds a whole new layer of wonder to your everyday surroundings. Thanks for spending time with me and a few of my favorite feathered regulars. I'd love to hear from you. What birds have you been checking out lately? Or what birds do you think could deserve a little extra love? Leave me a comment to let me know. Until next time, take care.